one of the major reasons that I'm not, all gung ho about organized religion is because there's so many out there that use fear as a motivator.
The fear used for control to literally manipulate and a scarcity technique.
What if you were to remove fear from yourself for a month or some finite period of time? What would happen, even if it was just a day?
You take a certain job or you marry a certain person or you act a certain way. There's so many different things, all because you're afraid of an outcome that may or may not happen.
Why do we have to involve fear at all? The energy level that fear creates in your physical form and your electromagnetic waveform is all affected by your mood. What you produce energetically within your mind can be felt by the world around you.
I'm telling you, man.
I mean, we did off mic, but we can.
Salud.
Salud.
Is that for good luck or something? Is that
It's just what I was taught, bro.
grounding the spirits? This is delicious, by the way.
Thank you. Right? Yeah, man. And honestly, rather healthy for you, besides the fact that there is moonshine in it.
Oh, but that's dangerous.
It's mostly fruit and fruit juice. Yeah. It's like antioxidants and some shit in there. I don't know.
And some corn, lots of sugar.
We're not going to talk about that.
So,
you had brought up last week
yeah.
the idea of a discussion on what fear is. I liked that.
On what fear is, yeah.
Well, and how people use it. I mean, you had a whole thing with a little bit of poem in there. It was adorable. I loved it.
And this was like on the heels of that frequency vibration thing we were going into, about maintaining a high frequency within your mental, that things, when you're trying to discover who it is that you are in the grand scheme of things, or who we are, or purpose in life, or whatever you want to call it, capital G. If you're trying to figure all that stuff out, fear is the last thing you want to use as a motivator, because energetically it cripples you and it makes you blind. And fear is where violence comes from too. So fear is not something you want to mess with. So my statement was, one of the major reasons that I'm not, all gung ho about organized religion is because there's so many out there that use fear as a motivator.
You would touch on that part of it. Yeah. But like you were saying in the beginning of that, there was a multitude of components that you were attempting to compile, put as simpatico in a sense, where this is what fear really does and associates with, and the fact that it's not just like these little things, but there's multiple pieces to it. So,
I would say energetically, spiritually, if you want to say, kind of same thing,
but also what it does for you in life, how others use it, how you can use it or shouldn't. Like, I mean, you wrote a bunch of shit out and then put a poem at the end, which was awesome.
I guess it's in the book that I left offset over there, but probably I did have it. It was kind of a little silly. It wasn't exactly what I was trying to get across, but yeah, that was the thing I just read out last week, right?
Yeah, but it did get me thinking. Fear is to me like a catalyst of sorts. It creates alternate reactions. Not good or bad in the sense, just alternate. So they have reactions, same as you would like chemical reaction. When you add certain things together, this catalyst will make this now do that instead. So it's something that kind of sets off something into motion. most would, as you were bringing up, would use that in a sense to do control, to get you to derive at a certain outcome that they want, predictability. Whereas an individual who is, I would say, more centered or positioned on themselves where they feel the most them, to literally be their karma, their purpose, to be in the flow, to just be what they're supposed to be. Those individuals most likely used fear to motivate them. So, kind of what's Uguay say, where you often meet your destiny on the road you take to avoid it. So there's being so focused, fear driven on not wanting something that you still bring it to fruition. But those types of people most likely actually note it and do the opposite to make that happen. Fake it till you make it. You act that certain way, act as if, and it will come to fruition. So fear can be. That's why I would say fear is more like a catalyst. It's something that creates a reaction, but it can be a different reaction depending on the individual and how they use it.
Yeah, it would be hard to try and explain like the type of fear specifically that's extremely dangerous because obviously, you know, fear of a fast moving train in your close proximity is something you should be afraid of.
No
Like
shit.
there are certain things it's okay to be afraid of.
Yeah, when you, just like grape.
But if you think about how much energy you waste on fearing a possible outcome in the future, that's not necessarily the direction you want to take. Fear what could happen if you fail. Maybe that gives you the idea to save money somewhere and put aside some expenses, whatever. If that's what you're saying, if you're using fear personally as a positive motivator, something to get you, oh, I don't want this possible future to happen. So the way I stave off fear, I'm using it in a way, but I'm staving it off by doing something about it.
Yeah.
Like that, I wouldn't put in the same category as what I'm talking about. But using fear to motivate, like you said, somebody to do something they might not ordinarily do.
Well, yeah, but that's
Whether
what I'm saying,
that's
dude.
using fear, like using the fear of the vengeance of God to try and motivate you to do something, which I think in the poem you were
Well,
talking about, it was
Well, that's why I said there's multiple sides to it. Like, your point, and I agree to, is there are plenty that actually use it as control, and it does control quite a bit of the masses. But again, there's those that instead of that fear, they're just like, no, I'm gonna go do this. It's a guidance. That's why I said catalyst, because it just there's some of us that are just like, because I mean, me personally, like, dude, I've been homeless before, right? Like, I was living in my car for a little bit. Shit happens. What are you going to do? I don't want to live like that anymore. I can't live like that anymore.
so fear of being in that situation again will keep you motivated to do, yeah.
Fear of allowing myself to be put into that position again. Fuck no.
But if that's not the fear I'm trying to cut out of our lives, like I've already moved that aside as saying that in a way it's for growth, it's for positive. That's okay.
Well, correct, but that's
But
personal.
That's self-imposed too, which
Of
is
course.
different than what I'm talking about, where you've got a mass of people that are being controlled by using a certain motivational technique that actually tends to make you more closed-minded.
Yeah.
The kind of fear that can be harmful.
The fear used for control to literally manipulate, and a scarcity technique.
Correct. Yeah, using a tactic in order to get a group of people, as many as possible, a group of people to perform a function, go out and buy milk, eggs, and bread because there's a storm coming. All kinds, creating a scarcity in a product.
Of
So
course.
you create a need for something and then automatically create a scarcity when you release it.
That's
So that when it
marketing
finally catches
101.
up, there's a deluge. So yeah, that's using a tactic. And I guess that would qualify as being negative, but it's questionable because, these exchanges is what makes the world go round. So you really can't complain about that either. That's a sales tactic Is it fair and above board? Yeah, pretty much.
But anyways, you're people using fear for
but
control.
using fear to motivate people to believe a certain thing that they might not ordinarily believe. And I don't necessarily mean that they wouldn't have believed that thing naturally on their own, but why do we have to involve fear at all? Because that's my whole belief, is that the energy level that fear creates in your physical form and your electromagnetic waveform is all affected by your mood, completely affected by your mood. What you produce energetically within your mind can be felt by the world around you. And I know you've walked into a room right before, right after something went down.
Oh, yeah.
And you can absolutely feel that energy, even though it's already done or it hasn't actually happened yet. Like, you can taste it.
Yeah.
It's like ozone.
Sometimes I've seen it like in slow motion where I'm just like, well, this is about to happen and it's happening. No, I remember this one time I was hanging out at a bar with a bunch of friends or whatever, and like we were friends with the people that are working there plus the owners and stuff. So it's like it's basically after hours in a sense. There's nobody there but just us and a couple of these like Russian guys. And I mean like fresh from barely speak English like Russian guys. And they start some shit, and I know this, like, I could just see this shit was building, and everyone's, I'm just like, I literally just like slowly took my watch off and like put it on the bar, and, like pulled my sleeves up, and I'm just like, and now. And just like watch it all kind of happen, and just like there was like almost a complete and utter brawl, and somehow I just kind of like skated in between them all and was just like, and these guys got pushed back, these guys got pushed to the door, and it's just like, spasibo. It's like, sorry, man. It's like, please, thank you, I appreciate you. Just like, hey, man, you guys got to go. Like the fact none of us could really speak, but it's like
you just slipped in there,
just little crowd work. And just backed them up. Just backed them up. And like I come back and everybody like finally calms down. They're just like, wait a minute. It's like, yes, we're good. They're fine. It's all right. Let's just
disaster averted.
Yeah. Let's just go back to put my watch back on.
So
like, okay.
That's an interesting,
yes, I can.
That's an interesting story of feeling energies. But that's also part of being adjusted to being in that frame of mind, running a business. Like, you're watching the floor all the time. If you see something like that, your first instinct is to react just out of experience.
Well, it's also when I was a referee. So, I mean, I refereed a lot of pool matches, and I had to watch multiple tables simultaneously. You get used to just seeing things. It's like when you go to you're about to be in an accident and the adrenaline kicks in and stuff just
everything slows down.
It's just like watching everything on that kind of a speed in a sense.
Your eyes know what to look for. You're not scanning the table. You're going boom, boom, boom. Like, you know exactly what you're looking for.
You have to be intentional and proactive in a sense. You have to see it coming. You really do. But I mean, that was also one of the things I really enjoyed about watching other people shoot pool, because I would know how I would do it, and to see how they would do it.
That experience you're describing, where you have like this heightened sense. Like, I get the same thing I've told people when just from riding a motorcycle, even if I'm riding passenger in a car now, like I almost have a sixth sense about what other drivers are going to do around me. That you start developing a certain strength in something. And that particular skill doesn't work when you're in fear. It's on overdrive if you're in fear. So it doesn't work properly.
Well, your body's too busy reacting to other things.
Everything's a danger.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Everything is a danger. When you're in fear, it's fight or flight.
Your body's anxious,
and even
tight,
if you don't
tense,
realize it,
ready to pounce.
Your body's releasing endorphins and cortisol and adrenaline through your bloodstream.
All the shit to keep you alive.
Which is great when you need it, But if you don't use it, it destroys your body. It's terrible.
Truth.
So no, you should not use fear as a motivator because the state that it puts you in is actually damaging physiologically, not just spiritually. You
Why
know,
you gotta say it like that?
spiritually.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and so that's the thing is the being in that mindset of focusing on what you do want. So I said there's a select few that actually, because that's the thing is there's still very successful people that have focused on the negatives, and negatives do happen to them, but they've also done it in such a manner that they were still also building, so you could still bring higher something or other, quantity, quality, whatever you want to call it, just as it's a part of your focus, but still enough of a part of the focus that shit's gonna happen, that shit happens. You're just like, oh well, because you know what you're expecting it, so it doesn't matter what scenario it is.
So you're saying you're still fighting for fear being a good motivator
But
when
again,
it's kind of like self-inflicted.
you instead of focusing on that, so that's why I said there's certain people that actually use that and then just go do the opposite. So they've eliminated the fear, but there's still those who can be successful to a certain degree that are still holding on to some of that. I'm just saying, like, there's regardless if your focus is, you'll still get that. So even if it's like a little bit, you still get that. So my that's my bigger point, I guess.
That
So not that you have to use
that
fear
it's
as a
in the back.
motivator,
It's
but
more in the back of your mind. Like, I don't want to be there again. That's why I'm pushing so hard. But I would think most successful people, they're successful because they're not looking back there at what could have been or what could be. They're looking at what is and what will be in the very next moment. So yeah, I'm still defending my point about fear then, right?
of course, why are you defending
'Cause
it?
oh, I'm trying to figure out what it is exactly in what context, because we were saying the many levels of fears,
Well,
many of them
yeah.
can be useful, but what I'm talking about is not that. What I'm talking about is motivating a mass of people to believe a certain thing. The Whether it's truth or not is beside the point. Um, Using fear to motivate people, and my other point was that fear can most often lead to violence. It usually does.
Mm,
The end result of fear ends up being violence, which causes more fear, and it's like this vicious cycle.
that was the point you were attempting to make.
So, not the kind of self-inflicted fear that people use to motivate themselves to be a better tomorrow than they were yesterday.
Yeah, but you can still have detrimental situations that are a legitimate fear.
What level do you set that at? That's acceptable, societal, and possible for the physical that you can accept. That's not like, yeah, the fear factor, if you will, like saying that is okay. Yeah, it's okay if it's on like a 2 or a 3. It's just in the background, just enough to remind you, hey, if I lay stagnant for too
Well,
long,
no,
that's a
no. I'm
possibility.
saying my preference is to be just only good thoughts, only pure thoughts, like to be impeccable. I want to be impeccable with
Well,
my
your point
thoughts and
was that
actions.
many successful people have used that
Well, but that's why I was
fear
like
to,
successful. Depends on what you.
and how do you define success? Right.
But as you've pointed out, that's not the type of fear you're speaking of, and I'm agreeing with where you're coming from. And that's the thing is, a lot of people, regardless of the control aspect, are still controlled by fear, even if it's self-induced. There's plenty of people in this world, just as I quoted Uguay earlier.
None of them are safe per se. It's everything's a matter of,
But
yeah.
you take a certain job, or you marry a certain person, or you act a certain way. There's so many different things, all because you're afraid of an outcome that may or may not happen, which is the whole, make no assumptions in the 4 agreements. That's why I'm like, I love the shit out of that book. It's the simple things of those things that you get to remove fear from, because they're not going to control you. You're not going to allow them to control you. And that's the thing is, we wind up as humans, as dumb animals, make stupid choices sometimes, and it's usually based in fear. Fear is a huge motivating factor. It really
And
is.
where do you draw the line, though? Like, what if you were to try to remove that? Like, I imagine what if you were to remove fear from yourself for a month or some finite period of time? What would happen? Even if it was just a day, what would happen? But then I'm like, I got to set limits on it because, like, obviously, you got to maintain the fear that keeps you alive. Like, I'm not going to walk off a 20-story building just because I have no fear. Like, there has to be some level of fear. You know what I'm saying? But
If you will willingly do that, you have to be stupid or suicidal.
to not
There's
use
no fear in that.
to not use fear to make business decisions or career choices, or not use fear in your relationships.
Well,
Like,
yeah, again, because
but at
they're
what
controlling.
level? Like, at what level is acceptable? Because obviously, like the other things we're talking about, there's certain acceptable levels. Like, you're not just going to walk out into traffic because you have no fear. Like, there has to be some level of fear for you to maintain survival.
So I know what you mean, and I understand what you're saying. My counterpoint to that is if you so there's people that say I'm afraid of dying. Well, technically, I'm afraid of not living.
Like, the better response to that is just to say, "Wow, the living is scary enough. You're afraid of dying? That's the easy part."
No, it is. It really is. Um, but no, the to let fear of because again, I'm afraid of dying. It's like you make choices to extend your life as long as possible. If instead you're at peace with knowing that your body at some point there is mortality, this thing will have entropy. It will into nothing. And when it's my time, it's my time.
I don't want to wish for a long life. I just want to wish for a good life.
So when you can lose the fear of literally understanding and coming to peace with your own mortality, you're the fear. What does it matter? Like, okay,
That's the big one.
because
If you
I
can let go of that one, absolutely.
I know I'm gonna get hurt. I'm a human. I have senses. My senses get hurt. It's a thing. Whether it's my ears or my smell, my
Whatever
olfactories.
senses, yeah.
Literally, but my heart, my mind, like any and all piece that is something that can be affected. If there's no longer a fear of tomorrow is my day or it may not be my day, I don't want it to be my day, like just not being able to deal with that. To understand that you're just like, yeah, it could be tomorrow. I live today knowing that I'm doing the best that I can for this world to leave it in a better place than when I came here. And I know I've already done that. So why would I be afraid of dying? I've already left a good mark. I've already lived a pretty good life. I've had some pretty bomb-ass experiences. Do I want more bomb-ass experiences? Yes, of course. But
Fear of rejection. That can make bad choices in your life too.
that's fear. It's not fear of
You don't
rejection.
speak
It's
to
just
that person that maybe would have changed your life. You never know because you had the fear holding you back.
yeah. Or
So
when you
there's
break
another
up
good
with
example. Like, if you don't allow fear to make the choices for you,
yeah,
like,
kind of like
is there a way to shut it off? Like, how do you
well, but
shut that
it's
off?
not that you shut it off. You think other stuff. You focus on other stuff you're aware of, but you can't not think about the negatives.
You can't not think about it.
So you know they're there, but doesn't mean you have to think about it. Doesn't mean you have to allow it in. Doesn't mean that you have to even deal with it. Remember, you can either deal with something, try to change it, or just walk away. I'm gonna go do other shit.
And I guess you would call that more instinct driven. A lot of that, the self-preservation type stuff in a way.
Well, the
That
utilization of
is
stomatic
you
markers.
can't ignore it because it's instinctual and it's important that it's there.
Yeah, you're literally having visceral responses to it.
But allow yourself to logically contemplate what it is as it pops up in your head. Like, okay, wow, that's a trigger. And kind of walk yourself through it instead of just letting it slam you in the face and then reacting, right?
Well, that's why I really
That's
like
what's
the
so
4
easy.
agreements, man, because you have to be impeccable. So your thoughts, your words, your actions, everything that you feel, think, do has to be at its purest, rawest form. It needs to be succinct and concise. It is what it is. When I can see it as things, when I can remove the emotion and see it for what it is, the math of the universe, however you want to look at vibrating molecules, blah blah blah. I don't give a shit how you want to call it. When you can basically see it as a construct that is interacted with, you can remove the emotion of being human, fear is gone. There is no fear. You don't feel that shit. You don't think that shit.
And I think in that mental state, I think you're more, I don't want to say open, more susceptible to being able to pick up on transmissions that are above, when you're talking about the ether plane.
It makes it sound like I'm talking to fucking
Like,
ET.
this is what I'm saying about fear being a bad. Fear is what kind of pulls you back down. Fear is such a visceral,
It's a very human response.
it is an animal response
I can agree to that too.
first, because that's a, what do you call it? A cortex function or something like that. That's one of those.
Well, yeah, I mean, self-preservation.
That's in the 3 laws for our robotic
Meat suits.
meat suits. Yeah.
So I mean, I get what you're saying. I really do. And as I always talk about, these are just words, they're just signifiers, they just promote ideas.
They're also frequencies.
But that's just another ideation. It's another way to explain it. That's just
Right.
another
But
way
they
to.
elicit a response. So you can't discount that.
But all things do. For every action, there's a reaction. We're all vibrating molecules. Like we don't ever actually touch stuff. There's an electromagnetic something, or like there's down to the easiest, tiniest, most infinite piece. It's not touching because it's just molecules that are floating next to each other.
We don't actually touch stuff, but we're made of the same stuff.
Exactly.
Like, tell me how that works. Like,
But that's my
so
point.
we're really touching everything. We don't even realize it.
So when you can let go of being that human side, or as you said, animal side, when that emotion or sensory input is gone, not saying you disregard it, like it no longer exists. It's just, no,
Like maybe in meditation or a comatose state.
I'm going to see it for what it is. See the logic, see the math, see the structure, see that this is a construct, that there's action and reaction. That's all there is. When you can see more of that, when that's what you can perceive it as and understand it as, you make alternate choices. Because again, fear is no longer there.
Are you talking about like reading the code,
Well, I mean, I guess to an nth degree, sure, but no.
seeing through the matrix, or
No, just, but again, being impeccable. See, it is what it is. Seeing it for its purest, rawest thing, a situation, a feeling, a moment in time. Like, it doesn't matter. A singular action, your entire life, like any and all of it is just this. It could be mathed, it could be tracked, it could be predicted. That's why fear is such a great controlling component, because it does provide outcomes of a certain level of predictability. We've learned enough of human nature that, yeah, we know that we can trigger them in certain patterns in certain ways to get certain actions. It's just the truth of the matter.
but do you think personally, I guess more specifically in seeking like what I would call seeking oneness with the divine and trying to understand that and
Well, but again, those are
trying to
just
reach toward that, do you think fear is something good to use, or do you think that creates a blockage? That's more specifically what I was kind of getting at. We all use fear in our lives to some extent or another, and I think the end of the argument on that would be it's just like everything else. It should be used in moderation.
Well, I don't think there's an argument, because I completely agree with you. Fear is not something that should ever be used or be in existence. And most certainly not to control people, but of course.
but in how we deal with each other in our relationships, most
All of it.
specifically,
But
is very harmful. The idea of fear at all, because
greed.
if we're fearful that somebody might be doing something against us, our natural reaction might be to react to that.
Well, of course, you want
And in reacting to it,
self-preservation.
you're creating the very scenario which you were afraid of, and you're perpetuating it.
Oogway.
So,
I've been agreeing with you this entire time, in case you didn't know. Just adding alternate ideas in conjunction
absolutely,
with
yeah,
because of the multiple layers
there are multiple layers, though.
of said.
That's the fascinating thing about it, because it was hard for me to formulate the idea, and I thank you of what I was actually trying to ask, and that's more specifically is in I've found in my search for finding out who it is I am, or finding out what it is I am spiritually, how I see the world around me and how I piece it together. Fear causes a glitch when it comes to trying to focus on things like that. Fear to me is the last thing you should use in your arsenal when it comes to trying to understand.
I think you should
ineffable.
only use other tactics and emotions if you're going to use emotions. But again, I would also be very pragmatic in a sense, practical in its nature, mechanical, almost logic based, period. Just if then then that. Very ipso facto, scientific method, all of that fancy smart guy shit, where it's just like, if I attack it as a math problem in a sense, if I attempt to see what the variables are and deconstruct it and treat it as such, remove the emotion or the human or animal aspect from it, well, then there literally is no fear. Fear doesn't exist in a math problem. Where in math do you write down fear? You don't. Well, if there's no fear being perceived, now I can be focused on my target, what I'm aiming for, the existence I want to have. That's why I say the 4 agreements being be impeccable, make no assumptions, take nothing personal, whether good or bad, because again, those are
Which
just
would include
signifiers.
fear. Right.
And then do your best always.
Which means you would do what we were talking about before, is you would take that fear and you'd look at it and you'd inspect it, try to figure out where it came from, and then let it go.
Well, yeah, I get, because you can't not think about the negatives.
You can't just ignore it or shove it down. You have to do something with it. So you have to passively enjoy it for a moment and let it go.
Actively, not passively. You know what I mean? You're not.
Well, I guess passively in the nature of the motion that you're making, that mentally it's not for you to keep. It's for you to appreciate and let go.
Okay.
So
Pretty much.
But yes, you were taking a great position to try and bring me around to where it was I was actually trying to ask.
Well, yeah.
Or to state, actually.
Well, because again, you brought this up last week, and I started thinking about some things. I made my own realizations because of that thought experiment, where I realized I'm still having moments in my life where I do have fear, and instead of focusing on certain things, because again, you'll meet your destiny on the road you take to avoid it. I know, I love me some Uruguay, but it's true. You're so focused on it not being that your brain knows no different and just brings you that. I mean, our brains are a logic machine.
What do they call when you're so there's a visual way that you do the same thing when you're riding a motorcycle, the thing they call target fixation. I'm sure you've heard of that before. But they try to teach you, they try to train you. I try to say both of those words at the same time, it didn't work. They try to train you that when you're going through a corner, that your eyes are focused as far ahead of you on that corner as possible, because the bike is going to follow that trail naturally.
Yeah.
And not because it's magic, it's because you're holding it and your brain is doing all these calculations all by itself. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you're focusing on, I want to go here.
You have to focus on where you want to go. Target fixation is something different. And I've seen it happen to myself before, and I snap myself out of it, because target fixation says, I'm ready to go around this corner, but I'm worried, am I going too fast? Shit, I can hit that guardrail. And then you look at the guardrail.
And then you hit the
and you're
garbage.
not looking down the road where you want to go. And then like it only takes a half a second for you to go, oh, sorry. But if you're not focused, you can easily, people have been known to do that even driving a car before, is you're fixated on where you don't want to be, you turn too late, and the car just ends up going in that direction anyway.
Yep.
Or the bike, which is a fun high side that I do not want to be involved in.
So you bringing this up last week, the bigger point that I had, or revelation, I guess I would say to myself, was that, yeah, I have been using fear a little bit. I haven't been impeccable as much as I would like, or taking things personal, assumptions, the whole deal. I have been doing my best. That's why I love the fourth agreement. Just
Grounding.
I might only have 70% to give you today, but I'm going to give you 100% of that 70%. I'm going to give you everything I have. It might only be 70% of my actual ability, but I'm literally going to give you all of that. And it doesn't matter what that is. Work, family, friends, myself.
Do your best always.
And as I do continue, because again, instead of focusing on the fears, I don't want this, I don't want that. If I focus on being impeccable, if I focus on taking nothing personal,
Target fixation.
if what I'm like, I'm going to go do other stuff. Yeah. Forget fear. What do I want? I want this. Well, if I want this, then this has to be true. Like I have to get this, or I have to do it in this fashion, or there
Or
has
what
to
would
be.
I be doing already if I had this?
So if I look at it more as a math problem, if I'm here and I want to be here, what has to be true about here?
You're already there, man.
If you think about string theory, parallel
You're already
universes,
there.
that's why I say all things everywhere all at once. Fucking love that movie for so many
What's the
reasons.
as if. Act
What?
as if.
Yeah, Boiler Room.
Yeah. As if.
Yeah, act as if you got a 12-inch cock.
Nobody else is going to know that.
But dude, you don't give a fuck.
It doesn't
You're just-
matter because you're already up here.
Oh
You're
yeah,
good.
dude, you could look at every dude in any room and just be like,
It's a funny way to look at it, or a funny way to, yeah, but it's the same thing. It's
but that's what I'm focused on.
Yeah.
Not me literally having a 12-inch cock, but I'm focused on what the outcomes are, what the as if is.
of having a. Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't really have to.
To imagine the outcomes. I'm sure I know what.
Oh. But again, if I take it to seeing it as more, if I take it to seeing it more as a math problem or a logic problem, if it's a if this then that, I'm here, I want to be there, what must be true. If I can remove the human nature but still enjoy the day-to-day moments being a sensory being, to me that's the true balance. That's where I can't not think about the negatives. I know fear exists. Doesn't mean I have to
You
do
should be able
anything
to balance
with it.
pretty well on that 12-inch tallywhacker. I'm just saying.
I mean, it keeps me up at night. Got a mind of its own.
Literally.
It's always winking at me. I don't know. There's plenty more in there. That's what he said. Anyways,
Uh,
but yet, so yeah, your position on fear not being a good thing or should be used as a motivator or a control mechanism, completely agree. And I do my best every day to live a life where that is true.
as positive motivation only, and how do we determine the difference? But yes, more to think about. Talk amongst yourselves.
Discuss.
Discuss.
It's neither a pocket nor a book. Yeah, old heads that love SNL.
You know.
you get me. I get you. We get. Do it.
Just do it. Send it.
Send it, FDJ. Yeah. Do you want to cup something or?
Yeah. So if you guys had anything to add or whatever, just want to say hi, hit us in the comments somewhere right there.
And if your names are not in the rolling credits at the end with the bloopers, in case you didn't know that are there, hit us in the comments. We'll add you to. Yeah, we put our fans in there, so
We'll put you in there. You'll be
Be like Prego. It's in there.
Be like this guy.
This guy. Did you just cup that guy? No, you just cupped that guy's cousin. That was. I had fun with that one.
That was funny.
As always, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for stopping by. And as well as be good to yourself. Be good to everything else.
Much love.
Peace.
Peace.
We had a little drinky poos. Oh, peace. You got to get the Miss JD in there. Yeah.
Salud. Slancha. Siggy soggy.
Start some shit if you ain't gonna finish it.
You're so good.
I don't know what's in it. Your lips. It's so good.
It's so good.
So the last time I did this, I was sitting in your chair.
How dare you?
Yeah, when I sat down with Jeremy. Well, because when we went to go sit, I was just like, lefty or righty? He's like, righty. I was like, you sit over there. I'm ambidextrous, so I can drink left-handed, and it's still comfortable for me. So being on that side and this being the free hand, so
Makes
you know,
sense.
he literally said that was the best interview he's ever had. And I was like, it wasn't an interview.
It really.
It was a discussion. We were just talking.
Maybe that's why it's the best interview, because you weren't trying to interview.
I'm gonna turn the lights on.
Oh, okay. Just gonna go ahead and do that right now. Just made fun of me for crossing the camera multiple times, and
Dude, shut up. We need
my
the lights.
camera. That's what you said.
This is bloopers.
Crossed my camera multiple
Bloopers.
times.
It's all good.
Of course it is. It's chilling. Some weird noise. All right.
Yeah, blame the chair.
It's totally the.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't come prepared with that tonight, unfortunately.
Dude,
I didn't. Yeah.
whose fault is that? You need to make the statement. Like you never get it. Yeah, no, it's oh damn it. Yeah, dude, I got into a thought loop. Oh crap.
Silence is not golden.
And yeah, so I mean, I've been agreeing with you all night. Oh, we never turned the fucking lights on.
Damn it.
It's all right. It's over there. Yeah, I know. It's all right. This will probably just be
It'll be on in 9 minutes.
bloopers. It was dope as shit, and you only got 30 seconds, and then bloop. So again, you could, as if it just happened, it would be. Yeah, that's not the kind of fear I'm talking about. The kind of fear I'm talking about is.
But I can't remember what I said after that. That's what happens. This thing goes off, and I lose my train of thought. We're still rolling here. Now he walks away, and I get to talk trash on him. He's not even here to defend. Oh, hi.
And clap. Oh, that candle's going.
I know.
And 1, 2, 3.
Just get a large Farva.
I don't want a large Farva. I want a goddamn Liter of cola.
I'm telling you, man. Ba-da-ba-ba.